Hey guys, it's the Aussie Armwrestling. I just want to give a shout out to my fantastic sponsor, Pound for Pound Arm Wrestling. Guys, it's everything you need in the arm wrestling world. Chalk, straps, shirts, the quality is fantastic. Head over to poundforpoundarmwrestling.com and get everything you need. Now, let's get on with the show.
Ready? Bang!
Okay, the button has been hit. The red light is on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ready Bang, the number one arm wrestling podcast in the world. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and as always, I am the third place Melbourne 2019 amateur left hand 80 to 95 kilo place getter. The most sought after trophy in arm wrestling today. But have I got a guest for you? This ball of concrete has been dominating the arm wrestling world for 20 plus years. The man has dominated the UAL. He's dabbled in a bit of arm wars, but he is a left hand and right hand WAL Hammer holder. This guy is so good at arm wrestling that Marvel actually named a superhero after him. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ironman, Tony Kitowski. Tony, welcome to the show.
Right on, my friend. Thanks for having me.
Mate, absolutely excited that you're on the show. I don't think too many people know your story of how you got into the sport of arm wrestling. Do you just want to quickly share with everyone how you got into this fantastic sport?
Yeah, absolutely. I was sports oriented my whole life. I was pretty much any sport I ever tried, I was really good at. And I was good enough to do, in my opinion, I think if I really wanted to, I probably could have eventually got to pro baseball if I really pushed for it. But, once I got into middle, junior high, ninth grade-ish, I became a redneck, as you might want to call it, hillbilly. Charity became more important than sports, and I stopped all the sports and just started being a redneck. And once I got out of high school, I still loved playing sports. But at that point, in your career, you're limited on what you can do. So I tried boxing a little bit. I didn't really care for that as much. I thought about modeling, but I'm a little too short and ugly for modeling. And so then a buddy of mine just happened to mention there was an arm wrestling tournament about a half hour from my house. And I thought, what the hell, I'll give that a shot. And I placed first left and second right, and I fell in love with the sport. That was back in 2002, 2003-ish.
Mate, where do I dissect
I
all
fell in love
this?
with the sport. And, I picked up on it real quick. Right, yeah. So I picked up on it real quick as far as technical abilities, how to strength train for it, speed, so on and so forth. It just kind of came natural to me. And then once, I got up to 2005 where I got my first world title. And then in 2006 I got injured and I stopped for quite a few years. And I came back in 2000, I want to say 14-ish, 13, 14-ish.
Wow,
and I injured my
huge break.
Yeah, so I did come back a little while in between that, only for about a year, and then I got hurt again, so I stopped. And, once again, drinking, that was too important to me. And then, like I said, 2013 or 14, I got back into it only because there was a Nationals in Wisconsin. I thought, what the hell, I'll get back into it, I'll train up for it, and I ended up placing first at that Nationals right-handed. I think it was like third left. But then I just kept going with it, and then tore my rotator cuff on my right side. I had surgery on that, and once I came back from that, it was balls to the wall. I started training heavy. UAL came around, started training heavy for the UAL, started moving up fast in that league, and then once again, the UAL just kind of pittered away, and then the W came around, and that's where I really hit it hard because they were giving out such big money, and I I love arm wrestling, but when you're talking $20,000 to go arm wrestle, you're gonna bust your ass to go do it. So,
$20,000.
2015 to 2016, I worked my ass off, studied all my opponents. I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours studying my opponents. And then 2015, I didn't do really well, but I lost every match. Every match I lost was in the strap, so I knew my weak spot. So I went home and I contacted certain people who was good in the strap, and listened to them and studied Todd Hutchings, Travis Page, and John Brzenk for different reasons, and I made everything my own, and my own styles, my own techniques, my own strap pulling based off of what I learned. And in 2016, that's when I took home double hammers, and I never felt stronger. But then after 2016 I was struggling with some injuries, and I got some. I had hernia surgery. I had right elbow surgery, reconstruction since then. But now I'm feeling good again, so I'm balls to the wall again, hitting it hard.
Yes, all right. Let's backtrack. So much I want to go into. First of all, I'm always having a beer. When a world champion comes on the show, you definitely, I'm always going to have a beer with a world champion. So,
would have had one with you if I'd have known.
Oh, mate, I have a beer on every show. I don't care. It's 9:30 in the morning here in Melbourne, but when you have a world champion on, and as a sports fan, I'm always having a beer. Now, you mentioned world champion back in 2003 or 2006?
2005, I think it was. It was Mohegan's Sun. It was a world championship in Connecticut. It was considered a world championship because everybody around the world was invited. So there was the best of the best around there. At that time, it was a guy nicknamed Roman. I don't know what his real name was, but they called him Roman, and I ended up beating him left-handed for first place. And he was, I think, number one in the world at that time.
Magnificent. And do you have any of your modeling photos? Did you, when you wanted to pursue that, have you got any headshots?
Oh, keyword, I thought about it. Never actually pursued it. Too short, too ugly.
An exclusive. Could you, everyone watching, can you imagine Tony doing that?
Yeah, I think everybody just pooped in their mouth by you saying that.
I've lost it now. I'm just picturing you leaning on a chair like this. Okay, Tony,
no,
can you...
You're just scared. I was thinking like beaches and stuff, but you're just scaring me. You're like
Oh, man. And the injuries that you have gone through. That's, I think that's just what makes your story even more incredible to hernias. And you had basically almost, 7-8 years off and just dabbled in it and have come back even stronger. Was there one particular injury that you had and it was just like, I'm really going to struggle to come back from this? Or is your competitive nature, your sports way, just going, I'll definitely bounce back?
Yeah, so I definitely have that bounce back attitude. But my elbow surgery was by far the worst. That was a major surgery. I tore my UCL, which is like your ACL in your knee, but it's in your elbow. I tore my UCL back in 2016, just doing some training after I won the World Championships, just doing some training in my shed and doing some pronation training. It popped. And I tore it at that point, and I just continued to push through the pain, and, I couldn't work side pressure anymore, so my side pressure started lacking, so then I started working up pressure like Travis Page does. So I kind of changed my game up a little bit to adapt to it. I definitely affected it, my overall strength sideways, but I just adapted, and then it just proceeded to get worse, and then as I went and pulled Sam in Atlanta about a year and a half ago, in September, I was fighting with the UCL problem, plus I was fighting with a lot of other pains due to bone spurs and scar tissue. And then during that match, I think it was the third match that he beat me, I tried jolting him back, and I tore my pronator off the bone. So, yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, somehow I came back and beat him in the fourth round, but I tell you what, if I had to do it again, if I had to go back, the fifth or sixth, there's no way I would have beat him again because I had no rotation left. There was nothing there. Obviously, when it's detached from the bone, there's nothing.
No, no, we'll definitely dip into that match a bit later. But let's go to 2016. I mean, I don't know if I think you've been living under a rock. If you haven't seen Tony Kitowski's 2016 WAL, absolutely phenomenal. If you just look at the people that you beat Justin Bishop, you beat Janis Amolins, you beat Craig Sanders, you beat Paul Talbot to take 2 hammers. What will you feel like going into it? Did you feel unstoppable, or was there a moment when you pinned like a Justin Bishop and just went, right, I'm taking all the hammers?
Well, my attitude is I go into every tournament thinking I'm going to lose. And I purposely do that. I purposely play a mind game on myself because it just makes me work harder. If I go into a tournament 100% confident I'm going to win it, you're only going to pull 80%, right? You're not going to try. But if I go in thinking I'm going to lose, it's going to force me to push myself harder. But at that tournament, the 2016, I was more prepared than any other year. I knew who was going. It wasn't no secret who was all going, who all qualified. So I studied my opponents, and I studied them vigorously. And my wife was pissed because I spent hundreds of hours on YouTube studying all my opponents. There was only one guy that I didn't really study because there was not much on him, and I think his name was Izzy. And he was actually my first guy I had to pull, so I was super nervous with him. I knew he was strong, but as soon as the ref said go and I clamped my hand down, at that point I'm like, geez, I feel strong. There was no pain, there was no hesitation, side pressure, up pressure, rotation, hand strength, everything was connecting. And I was thinking very clearly too. It's like, because I studied my opponents, I kind of knew what they were going to do before the ref even said go. And based off the setups on palm to palm, you can also determine at that point too what they're going to do. So I think that year I was more formed to what everybody else is going to do than anybody else was. I was more ready than anybody else at that tournament. And it showed,
Does it show? Bang! Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
just ripped through everyone, and it almost looked like that the pullers on the other side of the table had to apologise to you for even thinking they could beat you. That 2016, I think I sat there and just went, oh yeah, no, I think Craig Sanders might have him here, and then you just absolutely crushed him. And I was a bit like, yeah, maybe I owe Tony an apology, and just that look. That intensity, you absolutely threw at him. I mean, 2 hammers is good, but yeah,
that's a badass stroke.
Yeah, you haven't got one of those, mate.
It's really cute. It's really cute.
So what was it like? So which hammer come first? Did you win the left-hand hammer first or the right-hand hammer?
I won the right-hand hammer first against Craig Sanders.
Yeah. So then, how do you go? Because you've just won the right-hand hammer. Amazing there, Tony Strong, but then you still had to do the left-hand side of things. What kind of feelings that? Because you're the champ, I'm the champ now, and then it's like, oh, hang on, I've got to get ready for my next match.
You got to get ready for Paul Talbot. He's never a joke, The guy's got a crazy, crazy strong side pressure. But no, it was just like, the old Sylvester Stallone, you turn the head around, right? It was almost like that.
Okay.
Like a switch, right? As soon as I won that right-handed match against Craig Sanders and I walked off that stage, it was like a complete switch. Okay, now I got to get ready for that. And I got Paul Talbot coming. So I started thinking in my head, how am I going to beat Paul Talbot, so on and so forth. And, I went in playing defense every single time I pulled the bigger guys, the more elite guys, playing defense, waiting for their mistake to play offense. And that's pretty much what I did on most matches.
Oh, and absolutely knocked it out of the park. Absolutely. Everyone go and check out Tony's 2016. It's unreal. So then you've taken the hammers, and then so you take the lightweight hammers, and then you've decided, yep, that's going to do for the 165, the lightweight division. And what made you decide to go up into the middleweight class?
That was all greed. I'm a very greedy person as far as myself and my accomplishments, right? So you can go back and win another hammer in a 165-pound weight division, but to me, there's more pride in winning a hammer. I want to be the first person to win a hammer in 2 different weight classes. I wanted to be that person. So that was the goal. Unfortunately, after I won, I think it was, I want to say September time frame is when I popped my UCL right-handed. And so that was, my side pressure was gone. And then a couple of weeks later, I went and pulled Ron Bath at Sheboygan County Fair. And we had a massive hook battle, and I popped my left shoulder. So, my side pressure left was gone, and my side pressure right was gone. So, then at that point, I'm struggling to train. That's when I switched all my training to up pressure rather than side pressure, which, as you know, when you're pulling Todd Hutchings, up pressure is not going to help you.
No.
So Todd Hutchings is in that next weight class, and it didn't help me at all the next year. So, I held him. I had a decent match with him, but at the end, he's going to eventually bring you down if you don't got the side pressure. So, and not until 15 months ago did I have surgery on my right elbow to actually fix everything. So now it actually feels good again. I do got some pain in there yet. I don't know if it's a nerve issue or if it's maybe stuff needs to be broken down a little bit yet. I don't know. I haven't gone back to the doctor to find out, but it's well enough for me to train. It don't hurt when I train, so I can get stronger. It just hurts a little bit when I arm wrestle, that's all.
Yeah, so when was the moment? Because when you go to the, I think it was the 400 series, you took on Quinlan Mendez in the middleweight division, and you had an absolute battle. Unfortunately, you didn't take the chocolates in that one. But was that the moment where you just went, I'm a bit done with the middleweight division now?
No, if you watch the match, the first match, it was straight up and down, and I destroyed him. So I was definitely strong. The second match, he did the King's move, and it was like the ultimate Queen of King's move. His arm was, it couldn't have been any straighter. The only way I could have pinned his arm is I would have broke his arm, which it's not going to. So I should have just laid my arm down. Stubbornness wouldn't let me, and I fatigued myself out. And I was still going to go back and go after the middleweight, but due to me unable to work side pressure anymore due to my UCL issue, I just don't see myself at that. After that, I didn't see myself progressing in the middleweight. And instead of going in and getting it looked at, I had just started a brand new job as an electrician. I didn't want to go get a surgery either. It would have affected my career. So I was trying to play the catch-up game. What should I do here? What should blah, 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 blah. I just chose to go back down to lightweight, pulled Doug Ehrlich, pulled him very well, and then
Crushed him.
Pulled Sam.
Crushed him.
Yeah.
Don't say yourself short. Go watch that match. That's a 500 series. You crushed him. I don't mean to cut you off, Tony, but yeah, you absolutely. Doug's very strong, and it just shows how powerful you are. Don't just say, oh, you pulled very well. Come on, Tony. Don't be polite. You called yourself a redneck before. You crushed him.
Doug is undoubtedly strong, and between me and my 2 people I was studying with, I was watching Doug prior to the matches, and he came in shredded, and I'm talking shredded, like 3% body fat shredded to make his class. So, the guy, even after 24 hours of rehydrating, he still had serrations in his triceps. So, to me, he didn't rehydrate properly. That was part of his injury, and he was also dehydrated too much. For the competition, as far as fat, not dehydrated, he lost too much fat rather than just water. And then I seen him pulling a little bit with Sam, and he pulled with Sam Harris maybe 30 seconds just to warm up a little bit, and he ballooned right up. And I'm like, well, that's all I got to do is if I catch him, I'm just going to hold him. And that's exactly what I did. I busted his wrist back in a strap, and I sat there with him comfortably for, 15 seconds. Until I seen his shoulder buckle. And generally when you see your opponent's shoulder buckle, that means complete fatigueness, he's done, and that's when I pinned him. And then after that, when I pinned him, he also hurt his elbow. So not only was it fatigue beyond belief, his elbow was hurt as well.
Oh,
so
easy money. It was.
I played the game on that one.
Oh,
right. Yeah, after that match, most definitely.
Played it perfectly. It was unbelievable. So then. You did that was it for the 500 series, and then they got you prepared for the Hammer match. Now this is something I really want to sink my teeth into. because you quoted saying that you had pain in the back of your eyes. You looked very depleted and defeated. So for those that don't know, Tony had a well-deserved lightweight hammer shot in the 500 championship night against Sam Harris. Tony was doing a massive weight cut, I believe, and obviously tell me if I'm wrong, Tony, it was at 14, 15 pounds or something like that. So here in Australia, 6 to 7 kilos. That's huge. And yeah, you said there was the doctors were telling your liver was failing or going to fail, and the eyes, and you just missed out there. Just explain to everyone the pain and the torture a weight cut can be, and how you felt when you just couldn't get there.
Well, so I guess long story short, I made the mistake I didn't do what I normally did. I did this 7-8 times prior, no problems. Obviously it sucks a little bit, but it's not too bad. And I seen something on YouTube a few weeks prior to my dehydration, and I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll give that a try. And his suggestion was start 48 hours out. I thought, boy, that'd be great. I start 48 hours out, I'll get down to 170 within 24 hours, and last 24 hours you'll just drop that 5 pounds pretty easy. If you have to sit in a sauna for an hour or two, that's nothing. And I thought it sounded great. It does sound great. But then when I did it, I felt really good 24 hours out. In fact, I had no pain. I was 170. I felt great. I had energy. I could get up and move. But then that's when I left. I went to the airport, got on a plane. By the time I landed, no more than 4 to 5 hours later, my body was completely crushed. And that's when I wasn't thinking clearly then. I weighed in at the hotel, and this was roughly about 16 hours prior to weigh in, and I was only 167, 2 pounds over. But at that point, I'm not thinking clearly. And my wife was also with me, and she's never done this with me before, so she didn't know what to do.
Okay.
Normally, my cousin was with me, and he would have been like, all right, dumbass, you got 16 hours to lose 3 pounds, 2 pounds, drink some freaking water. And I would have drank probably 2 pounds of water, and I would have felt fine. But when you're in that stage of dehydration, you don't think clearly. So at that point, I just called it, unfortunately. But like I said, I was 16 hours out, and I was only 2 pounds over. But the thing I learned from that dehydration is when you dehydrate yourself, it's not the amount of water you lose, it's the time that you lose that water. Yeah. So, and that's what actually was killing me. So generally I do a 24-hour weight cut. That's lose 10, 12 pounds of water fairly easy in 24 hours. And then you start rehydrating again after you weigh in. But that time it was 48 hours. And at that 30-hour to 32-hour benchmark is when my body just started shutting down. So the guy on YouTube's an idiot. Don't ever listen to him. I couldn't. And then I also rehydrated the wrong way too, and I felt bloated. And I tried eating starchy carbs rather than complex carbs, and I just did it wrong. And I got big, fat, and bloated and slow. Given I was still strong, just mentally and physically slow. So I tell everybody hydration is more important than dehydration, and I screwed both of them up.
Oh man, how could you describe pain behind your eyes when you I've watched that video a few times, and it's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, so it's like your eyes are in your head, right, and it feels like they're sinking in your head. But there feels like the vessels on the backside of your eyeball are just pulling. It's like a deep numbing, not a numbing, like a deep, intense, dull pain. It's brutal. And then also the middle of your back to your lower back just feels like it's completely, going your back is straight. Feels like it's caving in. Just agonizing pain. And that's what I was considering my liver. It wasn't my eyes. It was my back that I considered my liver is starting to go out. Okay, there's obviously something wrong here. So that's when I said, okay, I'm done. But in reality, I should have just drank some water, 3 pounds of water, and lost the next 5 pounds the next day. Yeah. But so anybody who's dehydrating out there, it's the time. It's not the amount of water. It's the time your body's dehydrated.
There you go. Very, very interesting facts there. So then that happens. Unfortunately, you pull the pin, so you still got to pull Sam, and it's not for the hammer. Do you think you got, because for those that haven't watched it, go watch it. It's a great match. Now, Tony wins 3-1. Do you think you got 100% Sam Harris, or do you think Sam took a back step or experimented because the hammer wasn't on the table, or did your system change because it wasn't for the hammer?
As far as both of us, I think we both put 110% in,
Yeah.
and I would say that's going to be the case with any elite arm wrestler because our pride, our ego is too high. We don't want to lose, so no matter what, we don't want to lose. For me, I didn't want to lose because I let the world down essentially by not making weight. And he doesn't want to lose because that would possibly look bad and he might have lost anyway. In the end, I'm glad I didn't make weight because that's when I tore my pronator off. And what would have happened if I would have made weight, arm wrestled, tore my pronator off, beat him, and now here I am with the hammer, and I can't arm wrestle anybody because I have to have surgery and I'll be off for a year. You know, that's what's going to happen. So in the end, it all worked out pretty well, but then COVID hit anyway, and nobody arm wrestled anyway. So whatever.
Yeah, well, we weren't going to expect that, but yeah, very rarely will you get an elite arm wrestler saying that he's glad he didn't cut weight and win the hammer. It was so when you pin Sam, you know, you win 3-1. How do you feel? Is it a surreal feeling? Do you feel good that you've beat the champ? Are you like, yes, it all worked out for you now, but at the time, were you like disappointed and just went, if only I'd done it properly? What was the feeling after you won the match?
There was definitely disappointment. I didn't show it, but there was definitely disappointment. Not for the point that I didn't win, just to the point that I was still thinking I didn't make weight. You know, that's the only thing that was going through my head. At that point, you know, the hammer was like, whatever. My family meant more to me anyway. But at the fact that I didn't make weight and the fact that I let 100,000 people down out there is what really bothered me. So, you know, they were all rooting for me. I was favored to win, and here I go missing weight by 2 pounds with 16 hours to go. You know, but on the flip side, as soon as I didn't make weight, I literally contacted Sam right away because I didn't want him, because he obviously has to cut weight too.
Yeah.
So I didn't want him affected by any means, and I contacted him immediately, said, hey man, I'm not making weight. I want you to start eating and drinking. So that was no hesitation. You know, we have nothing but respect.
Good on you for doing that as well. That's you could have just not said anything and told him last minute. What was Sam's reaction when you told him?
I just texted him. So when I texted him, he was actually on a plane, I believe, and then he seen it when he got off, so he didn't even respond. But he did say he started eating and drinking right away after he contacted Jamie just to confirm that. Jamie with the WAL.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't a tactic from your behalf. Yeah, yeah, to get confirmation.
Yeah, it could have been.
That's hilarious. Oh, could you imagine that? You've tricked him. Oh yeah, mate. Nah, didn't make weight, bud. Didn't make weight. Nah, go for it. Let's go for a steak dinner. Oh, light champ doesn't make weight. Oh, Tony goes bang. That would have been unreal. Now you've been doing a lot of pulling lately. You've been dominating some local tournaments. How is that coming along?
Good. I love the WAL and I love being a part of it. And if they call tomorrow, I'd be there. But I did miss the camaraderie of just going out and pulling and seeing old friends. You know, that's something I didn't do for 3-4 years because of pulling either in the UAL or the WAL. So as soon as the COVID started to give up a little bit, I said, you know what, I'm just going to have fun again. So I started traveling to different tournaments within hours of me driving distance, and I'm just having a blast. Just arm wrestling different classes, arm wrestling different people. The after parties are always the funnest because you can catch up with everybody. Not only do you drink and get drunk, but you catch up with everybody, and do some after pulling and just have a good time. So it's just I missed it. And this last weekend I was at NBK Classic, Spring Classic, and I had a blast. So Scott Wynn came all the way from California. I got to pull him again.
Yeah, Scotty Wynn. Yeah, saw that match. That was cool.
Yeah.
Does anyone turn up to these tournaments and they're feeling really good, and then Tony Kitowski walks through the door and enters the weight class? Does anyone just sit there and go, Tony's turned up?
So this is a funny, quick little story. Excuse me, I got to plug my. There was this guy there. I won't even say his name because I'm not going to call him out. But he was. Give me 1 second. I don't even know if it worked. But he was telling all his buddies that he's going to kick my ass. He's going to destroy me, and he's a pretty new arm wrestler, right? So he's going to destroy me. He's going to kick my ass. I don't even know what's coming my way, and he's going to just roll right through me. So he seen me at the competition pre-tournament. He's like, I got to go shake his hand. And he walked up to me, he shook my hand, and he said, hey, great to meet you. He walked away, and he told everybody, Tony's going to kick my ass. Just by shaking my hand. Because I got kind of a sausage hand, so just like that, just by shaking a guy's hand, his mindset changed to, I'm going to kick. I'm getting my ass kicked today.
Oh, wow. I'm glad he showed the respect and just realised who the world champion, and the hammer holder is. So you're a pretty level-headed guy. You're loving the sport of arm wrestling. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts on the state of arm wrestling today? And what I mean by that is all the stuff that's going on the internet and things like that. You've got Devon and Engen Terzi going head to head. The RVJ Ryan Bowen match. It was on. It's not on. There's all this back and forth with everyone. What are your thoughts on what's going on in the arm wrestling world today?
I think it's marketing. The marketing's great. Why not market it? Larry Wheels, he's putting this match together between Devin and Michael, given we've all seen this match a couple times already. But look at how many more people it's going to reach.
Yeah.
And people might fall in love with it. And that's what we need. We need more marketing. And if Larry Wheels is willing to do it, by all means, get it done. I personally think it's going to go the same way as it went in the past, with Michael coming out on top. But maybe Devin has something else in the books. I like Devin. I think he's a great armor. He's a great guy in general. But I think it's with Michael Todd's style of pulling. Given I haven't seen him do the King's move in a while, and I'm pretty impressed with that. He does more of a up pressure type move now. I just still think there's too much power there as far as to pin Michael Todd. He might get the first one, like a lot of do. A lot of people beat Michael the first match because he's not mentally there or he's not warmed up. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But he's like Robin and Jr. Usually loses the first match and then comes back and okay, this is what's going to happen next.
So Tony picks Michael Todd in that one. That's very interesting. He is looking strong. Now, because I can't wait for that match at the end of May. But with all the back and forth on the internet, if someone calls you out, would you jump on the internet and respond and fire back, or would you just wait until you met him at a tournament or something like that?
Okay, so you cut out there. What was that question?
Oh, sorry. So with all the back and forth that's going on the internet, if someone called Tony Kitowski out on the internet, like if the Aussie arm wrestler goes, Tony, you're a terrible arm wrestler. If I ever meet you, let's have a match. I'd absolutely destroy you. Would you respond on the social medias, or would you just sit there and laugh and wait till you bumped into me at a tournament?
Oh, I would definitely respond. I'd have fun with it. Yeah, I'd have fun with it. Absolutely. Why not? I'm a 38-year-old kid. I'm gonna play all day long. Like they're my little blocks. I'm gonna play with them.
Oh, if anyone is in the lightweight division, call Tony out. I want to see the response. I want to see Tony's trash talking game rise
I've already
to
been
another
called out,
level.
though. I've already been called out by Maxim Shamayev, which I probably just botched his name, but that's what I'm doing in June. I'm heading over to Kazakhstan to pull him.
Oh,
Left-handed.
yes.
Yeah. He's
That's
apparently ranked
fantastic.
world, so left-handed. It'll be fun. He's a one-style puller, so it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a fun match.
So how come, like, he's called you out? So how come you're going over there? Like, how come he's not coming over to where you are?
They're paying for it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I looked at the plane tickets. They're like $6,000 each. They're $6,000 each. So this whole trip for them to come bring me over there isn't cheap. And all expenses are paid. The winner gets extra cash on top of it. So I'll travel. What the hell? I've never been to Kazakhstan. I might never get to go again. Why not? Give it a shot. And that's something I was wanting to do anyway. I wanted to start traveling. By 2022, I wanted to be at the Zloty. I wanted to start doing Zloty and seeing how I fare there. But this opportunity, why not? Give it a shot. This guy seems like a badass. He's a one-style shoulder roll type of guy. But I did talk to a couple people he's pulled, and he's apparently got a real strong hand and wrist too.
This is fantastic. This is so good. And hearing that you want to go and take on the Europeans in Zloty, this is even better. Ladies and gentlemen, how good is this? Tony's like going to Kazakhstan, and then he's off to Zloty hopefully next year. Bang! That's what we want. We want to see Tony pulling everyone and absolutely using
I
the
want to.
ball of energy. That is unbelievable.
Just want to travel and have fun with it, and if I can make money on top of it, nobody's going to turn that down.
No.
So it's a no-brainer, really.
No, not at all. And speaking of having fun, everyone that comes on the show, I play a game with them. Yours is going to be a little bit different today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the names of 3 people, and you have to decide which one you're going to pin, which one you're going to lose to, and which one you are telling, get out of town, you are not arm wrestling again in 2021. Now, because...
well, this ought to be fun.
Now, because you are Iron Man, your 3 pullers are the Incredible Hulk, Captain America, and another hammer holder in Thor.
Well, I'm going to lose to Thor because Thor's awesome. He's a badass, right? The Incredible Hulk, I'm just going to tell him to get out of here just because he's dumb. I love him to death, but he's big and slow. Just pin his ass. As far as Captain America, I'll beat him. I'll beat him.
Tony Kitowski is officially now Captain America, and he hates big, dumb, green people. This is fantastic. And he's very respectful when it comes to other hammer holders. That is unreal. But I'll also give you 3 pullers that are in your division. We're going to go with Sam Harris, Janis Amolins, and Jeff Hale. 3 people you have been very heavily involved with over the years. So same thing. Now that you've just pinned Captain America and took his shield, let's go Jeff Hale, Sam Harris, Janis Amolins.
Just because it could cause drama, I'm going to tell Jeff Hale to get the hell out of here.
Oh!
That'll cause some drama. That's exciting. Janis Amolins, he's such a nice guy. I'm going to lay my arm down to him. I'm going to let him beat me. He's going to beat me. And Sam Harris, I'm going to beat him. I beat him before. I'll beat him again.
Fantastic. Bang! Tony Kitowski doesn't mess about. That is fantastic. Sorry, Hale Potter. Tony just says, just stick to training. You're not hitting the tables in 2021. And he's taken the lightweight hammer off Sam Harris, and he's just playing the nice card with Janis Amolins because he's a very nice person. I've got a question from one of my Patreon supporters. So people that sign up to Patreon for the Aussie Arm Wrestling support, you can get a question in to the best in the world. And this comes from Retro Reister. Make sure you go over and subscribe to Retro Reister. He wants to know, would you put up both hammers in order to have a shot at the Aussie Arm Wrestlers third place amateur trophy?
I didn't hear that. You cut out there again. What was that?
Sorry. Retro Reister wants to know, would you put up both hammers in order to have a shot at the Aussie Arm Wrestlers third place amateur trophy?
Boy, that's tough. But would I get to keep your trophy?
That's right. Well, it's trophy versus two hammers.
Boy, you'd really lose out if you lost that trophy.
Wow.
That's a bad deal for you, man. But I don't think they'd let me these division.
I would absolutely get crushed. That is for sure. All right, Tony, I am going to fire some questions at you. You're not allowed to think. You just have to answer. Are you ready?
Send them.
Okay. So do you prefer super matches or tournaments?
Super matches.
Super matches. Are you a fan of the King's Move?
Not at all.
Not at
Queen's
all.
move.
Who do you love to pull?
Oh, are you talking my class?
Just anyone in general.
That you got to define that a little bit.
Well, let's go.
I like to pull fast.
Anyone in general and in your class. Who do you love to pull? Anyone in general, and who do you love to pull in your class?
Both questions, I guess. Any in general, I like to pull fat guys. I really like to pull big guys just because they're hand size, and it really makes me work a lot harder. As far as my class, I love pulling Justin Bishop, guys like Paul Talbot, the guys with a boatload of side pressure. You know, that's just pure. Everybody loves to see that. Straight side.
In your division, who do you hate to pull?
Oh, jeez. I've beaten everybody. I don't hate to pull anybody.
Yes, perfect answer. Perfect answer.
What do you want me to say?
My man, perfect answer. Who is your favourite child?
Who is my favorite child? Define that one.
Who's
my favorite
trying to catch
child?
you off guard. I was just trying to catch you off guard to see if you quickly,
talking
mention one.
about?
No, for those who don't know, Tony has 4 beautiful kids, loving wife, loving family. I was just
Oh,
trying
you're
to
talking
slip
my
one in.
children. They're all perfect.
Are you named Tony because of Tony Stark, Iron Man? Were you named after him?
Not at all. No, not at all. I was named after my great-great-grandfather.
When you get in trouble at home, does your wife call you Anthony?
She just kicks my ass. She's redhead, so yeah. I usually go to bed bleeding. It hurts.
2 more questions. When you pin someone, do you yell "Katow" instead of "Kapow"?
Not at all.
I'm gonna start doing it.
That's the European thing. You're talking to an American. I just yell like "shit yeah" or something, or just send it.
And the last question I want to ask: whatever happened to the new face of arm wrestling world championship?
I guess I don't understand the question. New face.
The new face. So I was doing a bit of research, and someone tagged you saying that you had qualified, and they had a championship belt, and it was called the new face of arm wrestling world championship. And you were tagged in the photo. Actually, I'm going to put this photo. It was I wanted to know about it. If I show that to the so the light doesn't get it.
Gotta go lower.
So yeah, because you're on my computer camera. So I'll show you. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. I have no idea.
And I'll show my camera at home. Yeah, there you go. You tagged in it. You qualified for it. I think it was like 2013. And then, yeah, it's a bit like, oh, well, I want to know about it. But he has absolutely no idea. Okay, so before we wrap up, I will get you to nominate someone who you think will have a good time on the show.
I want to nominate Bob Brown. He's got a new YouTube channel out there, and he's very informative, very knowledgeable for any up-and-coming arm wrestler, even veteran arm wrestlers, and just his stories. You know, you can talk about his stories with John Brzenk. You know, everybody loves those stories. You can talk about his story losing his leg and arm wrestling stories with he just had that bone lock. That was very interesting, his YouTube bone lock stories. That's kind of interesting. So he's filled with interesting information that people just love to hear.
Beautiful. We're definitely like that. And in my commentary videos and at the start of the show, my catchphrase is ready, bang! I need to hear Tony Kitowski's impression of ready, bang.
Ready, bang!
Yes! There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap up there. Thank you for Pound Arm Wrestling for sponsoring the show. Go to Pound for Pound website in order to get the best things in arm wrestling apparel, in seminars. Head over, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Do what you can to support Tony Kitowski. He's got a Facebook page. He's got an Instagram page. I'm going to chuck all that in the descriptions and at the bottom of the screen here, because make sure the guy gets paid. He's done so much for the arm wrestling world. His matches are highly entertaining. The guy is nothing but honest and open about everything arm wrestling, and we should be very grateful that I'm very grateful, Tony, that you've taken time out. It is Friday afternoon. You've just finished work and you've decided to have a laugh on the Aussie Arm Wrestler podcast. So, Tony, I'm very grateful, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, my friend. Just send it, everybody. Just send it. That's my saying. Send it.
We're going to send it, and we will speak to you guys soon.
Yeah, that's a man!